Sports Pregame Show, sponsored by Kia.
Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with my colleagues, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Tonight, it'll be the New Orleans Pelicans up against the Atlanta Hawks. Well, for Atlanta, prior to the game, Coach commented on their level of confidence in the locker room, and he feels that they are prepared with a very strong game plan at the various matchups. Last season, under Coach Alvin Gentry, the Pelicans tried a more up-tempo approach. They had a rough start to the year, but improved later on. Kenny, what do you make of the change in offensive philosophy for the Pels?
Well, I think it wasn't anything to do with Coach Gentry's game plan. It was more to do with the players implementing it and understanding how to run it. And once they started to simplify it and they started to play longer in the season, they're one of the competitive teams in the West now.
The change did start to pay some dividends. The Pelicans scoring was up, but they continue to struggle defensively. Kenny knows this firsthand. I know it firsthand. I wasn't a great defensive player, but I know that defense wins championships.
No, you were pretty good in your day.
Thank you, Kenny.
Yeah.
Let's send it down to Kevin Harlan, not to be defensive, as we approach tip-off.
Nice.
It's the Pelicans at home for a little interconference action in New Orleans. It's the NBA, and it's live right here on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony as well as Brent Barry. And we'll be catching up a bit from the sideline with David Aldridge. We are nearly ready for the tip-off, but first, let's hear from our very own David Aldridge. DA, it's all yours.
Well, guys, Anthony Davis's ascent to stardom has been almost as quick as the physical growth that transformed his game. Davis said, going into my senior season in high school, I grew 7 inches in one summer. Every 2 to 3 weeks, I needed new clothes, new shoes. As I grew, it was like starting all over again. Kevin?
Thanks, DA. As I recall, he said that was a tough adjustment, but he's been ahead of the curve ever since. Bring you look up and down both these rosters, and these are incredible athletes on both sides.
So we expect, Kevin, that we're going to get some great highlight plays out in transition here, and you're going to see the court shrink up a little bit for some of the offensive players.
How about the most athletic guy you ever faced?
John Barry? No, I'm kidding, Kevin. I'm kidding.
You like that answer, though, yeah. If he's listening, I'm sure he is.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Jordan, LeBron, who?
Most athletic player I ever faced was Kobe Bryant in his prime.
I like that answer. Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting 5 on the floor. On the court for Atlanta, Bazemore is the 3 with Millsap for 4. Shooter runs the point with Korver to his side. And it's Howard in at the center position. Pelicans on D. And Bazemore kicks to Howard. Feeds it to Schroeder. And it's Korver in the corner. Pass to Bazemore. Here's Millsap. And it's Anthony Davis with the rebound.
He could not have been any more wide open, guys. Wow, I bet he nails that shot next time he gets a clean look.
Back to Evans. A 3 ball. Pelicans keep it alive. And it's Davis missing.
He's certainly a threat to finish those opportunities with some style and flair, but the defense did a simply outstanding job preventing that from happening.
And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up.
And if you want to talk about the idea of players being made in the offseason, look no further than Kyle Korver as a case in point. His trainer in Santa Barbara calls him the optimizer. He's always working to find an extra edge, finding ways to realize every last ounce of his God-given potential. He's tapped into that for sure.
Well, you talk about Korver leaving no stone unturned, quite literally. Did you see that story, Brent, about him carrying that rock underwater?
Yeah, pretty amazing. Kyle Korver participating in the practice of Masagi out by the Channel Islands, running a 5K underwater, taking turns carrying a big stone, which keeps him submerged for the time that he's running along the baseline. That's why you can't slow him down while he's on the NBA court.
There's a chance he could go for a big game if they don't D him up on the perimeter.
Millsap kicks it to Bazemore. Passes it to Schroeder. Korver gets a wide open look. It's rebounded by New Orleans. Now here is Holiday. Davis dishes to Holiday. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Great take by Holiday there. Very smart at knowing how to get the defense to come at him like that.
And Brent, you look at Drew Holiday, 6'4" and strong. He's got excellent size for the point guard position.
Yeah, he's got those happy feet too, Kevin, and a good defender with quick hands. He can smother you on the defensive end.
No good on the free throw. Good on the second free throw. And last season, the Hawks weren't nearly as dominant as the year before. They lost Amari Carroll to the Raptors in free agency. Brent, was that a big enough blow to account for that drop-off, you think?
Well, I think you have to point to improved play overall in the Eastern Conference as to one of the reasons why the Hawks dropped a little bit. Also, Kyle Korver had significant offseason surgery and was coming back from 2 injuries and didn't quite find his offensive rhythm. And then the speculation all year long about Horford. So there was no way they were going to be that perfect. And then Kent Bazemore stepping into the lineup to try to fill that Carroll spot. It took a little while, but the Hawks found their rhythm late in the season.
Bazemore for 3. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
And the three-point shot is something Bazemore has improved steadily over his career. You can't give him room like that to fire.
Ashik, the pass to Holiday. Screen by Ashik. Lock at 6. Holiday against Schroeder. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Korver up top. He dishes it to Howard. The Hawks working the ball around. Stolen by Ashik. Here's Hield. And again, New Orleans has no luck.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
Millsap, great D that time from Davis.
And that was a difficult shot from mid-range simply because the defense was engaged.
And good defenders know it's about angles. Got great position and really bothered the release point.
Now Howard. After the missed 3 from Buddy Hield, Korver kicks to Howard. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And here's Korver from the arc. Ashik pulls it in. Ashik's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Outside Holiday. Davis sets a screen. Tries to snap the cold streak. And again, no good by New Orleans. Atlanta's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Bazemore with it. Evans picks him up. 1:41 left to play in the first quarter. And here's Schroeder looking for his first basket still in this one. Bazemore misses.
I think the defense was surprised that he did not knock that down. Clear defensive breakdown there, guys. Should have made him pay.
And it's Davis with the jam.
Whenever AD is floating around the basket like he was there, you know if he gets the ball, he's going to go for the jam.
Millsap a screen. Bazemore for 3. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder. Bazemore's got 6 points.
Not a lot of talk going on defensively. That's a good shot for him.
And first time out of the game called for New Orleans.
Yeah, and coming into the NBA, Dennis Schroeder drew comparisons to Rajon Rondo for his frame and his quickness. He's already shown himself to be a better shooter than Rondo, but his defense still has a long way to go.
platoon swap here for New Orleans. And Atlanta will go for a different look here. Splitters checked in for Howard. Mike Scott comes in for Paul Millsap. Prince is checked in for Kent Bazemore. And Thabo Sefolosha subbed in for Kyle Korver. New Orleans gotten just 2 of 6 to fall from three-point range so far in the first. And Brent, you think of the comparison between Rondo and Dennis Schroeder. They both have a certain cockiness to them, don't they?
Yeah, they play with some bravado out there, and that's one of the first things that you notice about Schroeder. Great confidence. He doesn't back down from the challenge that anyone offers up.
And Kevin, they need to be consistent with their effort on the boards. You look at the box score, and they're at a definite disadvantage.
Sefolosha's shot is good.
Yeah, great outside shooting, really fueling this run.
Pelicans trail by 5. Moore outside, wants to get it to Hill, and does. Back to Moore. The dish to Galloway. Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
Only took them a few seconds to answer the 3-ball with one of their own.
Wow, more threes in the NBA? Who knew? Teams trading tray balls.
Here's Schroeder. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. With 1 on the clock. 1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. The Hawks on top, leading by just 2. And don't go away. We'll be back with the action for the start of the second quarter in just a moment. And Dwight Howard, a lightning rod figure around the league, subject to a lot of criticism, but he says he takes comfort in playing the game he still loves.
Basketball, this is my passion, on the court, it's my sanctuary. I want to have fun. The reason I play is to win championships. I take this game very serious.
It's an interesting concept that Dwight has to take something very seriously in order to have fun. He does say he has a burning passion to win a championship. He's been in the finals, and this is a guy that's got still a lot to shoot for, he feels, in his career.
That's a great point, Kevin. And the challenge for Dwight is how to balance how serious he is and how passionate he is with having that fun on the court that he's after.
And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And when you consider how Atlanta is doing, your thoughts?
I just don't know that you're going to see a better quarter defensively than what we saw in the first.
Yeah, I just really love that they're playing with their hearts tonight, contesting shots, making their opponent work for every point.
We've got Alexis Ajinça. Hill is out there with Cunningham, and there's E'Twaun Moore, and it's Galloway in at the 1 spot. So that's the group out there for New Orleans. Sefolosha's shot is good.
Excellent defense from Schroeder there, coming away with the steal and a nice finish in transition. Well, the unfortunate thing for the Pelicans franchise is that injuries has been a constant for them the past few years. It's hard to explain, and it's been a real buzzkill for a team that was expected to become a factor in the Western Conference.
The Hawks working the ball around. They set the pick. Splitter sets a screen for Prince. Nobody near Schroeder. Oh, good with the triple. The Pelicans trail. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Kevin, as always, the Atlanta Hawks run that fluid offensive system that is widely admired. Steve Kerr, our old friend, used to say they get to the next level of their offense. You take away the first option, they automatically get to the second. You take that one, they automatically and fluidly get to the third option. And very few teams do that. Kevin?
Passing and shooting, D.A., that's what it's all about. Thank you. Splitter sets a screen. Prince kicks to Splitter. It's stolen by Ajinça. Moore in the corner. The 3. That shot off. So the Hawks will take it the other way. The pass to Schroeder. And here in the second, 2 minutes gone by. Knocks down the 3 ball. Schroeder's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
And Schroeder, just one of those guys with his speed, extremely difficult to guard. He gets the screen, uses the quickness, advantage, Dennis Schroeder.
Atlanta leading by 3. And Muscala kicks it over to Schroeder. Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. Splitter sets a screen. 6 on the shot clock. Prince dishes to Cephalosha. A three-pointer, no good.
The thought process was after he hit that first three, he'd be in great shape, but he looks way off right now.
It's blocked. And Muscala kicks it over to Schroeder. And yes, it's good. Now it's a 5-point Hawks lead.
You can see how Schroeder's eyes get big whenever he has a chance like that. Surprising from the point guard position.
Back to Moore. All sorts of time. Good. The assist goes to Hill. Moore's got his first basket. Atlanta's gotten a success rate of just over 50% from three-point tonight. 4 of 7 shooting. And Atlanta calls their first timeout of the game. And defense, not always something that gets a ton of attention, Brent, but it's the other half of the coin. It makes a difference when you think of perimeter defense. Who comes to mind as best guys at that position?
Well, Kawhi Leonard is causing all kinds of havoc for multiple players in our league right now from the wing. And you combine his athleticism, his length, his timing, and then the stability, Kevin, of really the defensive structure around him. That really pronounces him as one of the game's premier defenders.
The versatility, him, Green, I mean, these guys can guard a lot of different positions.
Yeah, again, there's ways that great coaches in our league teach professional teams that you can also have schemes defensively and just as many plays defensively to be effective on that end of the floor. But that part is about effort.
Well, you had the feeling that Dwight Howard was going to move on from Houston this last offseason, ends up opting out and signing on with his hometown team, the Atlanta Hawks. Got a sizable 3-year deal as well.
And he can't hit the second. And for Howard, he was courted by several teams in free agency, arguably the biggest name at the center spot.
Well, he met with several teams that would have been a good fit, but I think the hometown factor was too hard to pass up with Atlanta. Might be his last big contract in the league. Might as well take it for the team you loved growing up.
Now Bazemore following Tyreek Evans' three-point attempt. Three-pointer. The Hawks again can't hit.
Sometimes when you're that wide open, you start to overthink it, and it looks like that's what he did there.
Outside Holiday. Oh, he blocked it and deflects off the backboard. Ashik, no good. The Hawks leading by 3. It's going by Hield. And pushing it up. Here's New Orleans. Rebound, Atlanta. In the corner, Bazemore with it. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder. Bazemore's got 9 points.
A heady play there from Schroeder, zipping the pass to the teammate who had the cleanest look on the possession.
Millsap against Holiday. And it's Davis at the elbow. Kicks it out to Evans. 5 on the clock. And stolen by Bazemore. One-on-one fast break. That's a 2 from Korver. Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in. And it's an 8-point Hawks lead.
Like seeing Millsap there going hard for the offensive glass and then getting the easy putback.
Holiday goes in. It's stolen by Schroeder. Pass break here. Here come the Hawks. Pushing it up. Korver, good. And the Hawks lead by 10.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Here's Holiday. And the bucket counts. He's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a three-point play.
What's up? And Kevin, they started the game shooting it so well. I'm surprised they haven't continued. They've got to get back to their strength.
And the Hawks making a change here. Scott's checked in. For New Orleans, they have shot 2 free throws, and they're 1 of 2 so far. Free throw, good, Holiday.
Still a lot of potential with Drew Holiday, I feel. He can pass, and he can shoot, and he can beat you off the dribble. He's just got a nice change of pace to his game. A herky-jerky style guard, but playing alongside Anthony Davis, lots of room for him to operate.
And the one thing you like about Holiday, the versatility with his size and shooting. He can play on or off the ball well.
Well, he's got a lot of attributes for a combo guard in this league because he can play both positions on either end of the floor and defend them as well. But you like the ball in his hands. He's a gifted operator, and I really like, Kevin, the fact that when the ball is in Drew Holiday's hands, he has an opportunity to connect with Anthony Davis.
Scott hits them both.
Well, Mike Scott's coming along at a great time in the NBA as a guy who is a spread 4. He spaces the floor and can knock down triples. That's something in his arsenal.
Here's Holiday. Rebounded by Howard. Howard's got 6 rebounds here tonight. The Hawks leading by 9. Korver passes to Scott. Now Bazemore. 9 points in the game so far. Here's Millsap. Nails the baby hook. He knocks it down, but wait a minute. The officials are getting together. They may want to review this one. And we are not going to halftime just yet. Officials signaling they are going to review the tape.
And they're making sure on this one, even though it may not matter in the grand scheme, but the replay process is faster than ever. You know, why not?
And they've seen enough. The basket will not count. The quarter has come to an end before the shot.
And still important to have a second look at it. The technology is available, so you've got to utilize it.
Absolutely. And we've reached halftime in this one. Hawks ahead as they wrap up the second quarter with a huge surge, an 18-7 run. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Kevin, thanks. Here with Mike Budenholzer. Your defense has been very good. Why has that happened?
Well, I think our guys are committed on that end. Everybody's active, everybody's covering for each other, and we know how important it is.
Mike, we'll see if it continues in the next quarter. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the halftime show on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. A competitive matchup for Atlanta in the first quarter. Their largest deficit of the period was just 4 points. They were right there within shouting distance the entire time. They played a determined brand of basketball in the second quarter and began to pull away as we reached the half. That 11-point lead must be looking good to them right now. And Shaq, what are your thoughts on how Atlanta played?
The speed they're playing with has been fantastic. They're pushing the ball in transition and catching the defense. That's snapping, Ernie. Anyway, a huge chunk of their offense has come on the break. They've got a nice lead, but they shouldn't slow anything down. I say keep doing what you do.
Kenny, let's get your opinion on New Orleans.
Poor efficiency on offense. That's what jumps out at me. You aren't going to win many games shooting under 35%. bad shot selection, too much one-on-one play, not finishing with authority. Now, these are correctable errors. They could choose to come out in the second half and completely flip that script.
That's it for now, as the second half is just about ready to go. We, and I mean the three of us, will be right here after the final buzzer.
Welcome back, folks. Downtown New Orleans shining brightly tonight, as you can see from this bird's eye view. Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. On the floor for Mike Budenholzer, starting the second half. On the wings, it's Korver and Bazemore. Paul Millsap out there with Howard. And it's Schroeder in at the point. Now here's Hield. Davis with a screen on Korver. Rocket 6. And Holiday kicks to Evans. Offensive rebound. Davis. Good work defensively by Millsap.
Now that's terrific defense at the rim. Got right in his path.
All instinctual because he knows where he needs to go and then force the opponent to do something about it.
He gets a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, Chris Humphries was first one of the best rebounders in the league, and now after a few years of tinkering with the jumper, he's become a pretty good shooting big man. After the 2015 playoffs, Wizards coach Randy Whitman suggested that Humphries work on his three-pointer. Humphries said, "I hadn't really worked on it ever. I just had to adapt. I went at it trying to expand my game so I can play longer." Kevin?
I'm sure we'll see a lot of players trying to add that three, D.A. Thank you. Now, here's Howard. They lead by 11, the largest margin of the game.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Well, you hear coaches talk often about the power of five and how a team can become greater than the sum of its parts. And there's no doubt that the Atlanta Hawks show and exemplify exactly that. High character, unselfish players, a team with no real superstars, but they certainly play the game the right way. And no connections yet so far, guys. 0 for 3 from the field.
Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And some have wondered whether the Hawks have what it takes to win big, Brent, without a true superstar.
Well, they don't have one, Kevin, but I think they've put themselves in position to land one. They don't have any bad contracts. It's a team that's made the playoffs each of the last 9 seasons, and with Coach Budenholzer's recent success, I think some players may be invited to come and participate in that system.
That free throw, no good.
And really, it's hard to guard a guy like Bazemore because of how high he can get up. His athleticism is just boundless.
Catching up on the changes for New Orleans. Alexis Ajinça has checked in for Ashik. Solomon Hill comes in for Tyreek Evans. And Langston Galloway subbed in for Drew Holiday. He hits the second from the line. Brent, you had the chance to play under Coach Greg Popovich during your 4 seasons with the Spurs. Aside from the obvious accolades and plaudits, what stands out to you about him as a coach?
The one thing about Pop that stands out, Kevin, is the simple fact that the rhythm of the season is something that he has a tremendous amount of control over.
Had great feel for it.
There's no doubt about it. Pop's so good about understanding the feelings and the emotions attached to the game. And on top of that, the priority with which the game should have in your life. And that's the kind of player that they're looking for. They understand that the player has to understand the job, his accountability to his teammates, the role that he's asked to play, and then lastly, just how important basketball is in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it's got to be concerned with all the missed shots here, and every team goes through cold streaks. You just got to figure out a way to stay productive.
You just don't want to get to a point where you're forcing too much, not just letting the opportunities come within the flow of your offense.
Ejuan Moore is jumped in for New Orleans.
Ejuan Moore.
First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. It's up a three. Korver with the defensive effort.
That's a big donut, folks, here to start the second half. 4 straight they've missed.
Bazemore for three, and the foul called on Paul Millsap. That's his first foul. And the Pelicans making a change here. Cunningham's checked in. Pelicans trail by 14. Moore outside. They set the screen. To the left side wing. Here's Cunningham. Just 5 on the clock. And again, no good by New Orleans.
Ouch. 5 shots without a make. That's a really ragged start coming out of halftime.
Schroeder kicks to Splitter. The 11-footer. He can't get that one. So the Pelicans will take it the other way.
Well, if they had an edge at halftime, they might have lost it, beginning this half 1 of 5.
That's tipped. And the jam by Ajinça.
And no doubt they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
And that deficit will go away quickly if he does, Greg. Now here's Schroeder. He's got 5. Here's Splitter. Back to Schroeder. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. Cephalosha's shot is good.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
And for Thabo Cephalosha, a lot more news off the court in 2014 than on it. I'm just glad that he has moved on from those incidents, finds himself in a good place, and is back playing his brand of basketball.
Schroeder kicks to Prince. Back to Schroeder. Pass to Splitter. There's a screen. The 3 from Korver. That one, no good. And New Orleans will come the other way. Down low. Splitter misses.
He needs to be more patient on offense and not force shots like that. The D was right up in his face there.
Dishes it to Galloway. That one falls. Galloway's got 9.
That's an efficient trip down the floor for them, able to finish in tight.
Schroeder with the ball. He kicks it to Cephalosha. Back to Schroeder. Prince setting a pick for Schroeder. Goes up on the wing. Takes a big height bounce and goes in. He's got 7.
It looked like the D knew it was coming, almost inviting Schroeder to take it. RSVP.
Here's Moore. And no good. Korver with the defensive effort. The Hawks leading by 13. Kicks to Splitter. Pelicans with the rebound. Ajinça's got his 4th rebound in this one. To the left wing. .111 left in the third quarter. Galloway. That one's not going to go. So the Hawks will take it the other way. Korver against Moore. From deep 3-point range, Hill pulls it in.
Frozen. Guys just ice cold, unable to contribute offensively.
Pelicans keep it alive. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. New Orleans shooting their 4th and 5th attempts at the free throw line tonight.
Alexis Ajinça. 2 shots.
And he knocks down the first one. A big group substitution here for New Orleans. Anthony Davis is checked in for Cunningham. Evans comes in for Solomon Hill. Heald's checked in for Ejuan Moore. And it's Holiday in for Langston Galloway. And Ajinça drops them both.
Well, for the Pelicans, if you looked at their alphabet, D has to come before A. One of the worst defenses in the league last season. Their goal was to become a top 10 defense. Instead, they went the other direction.
Pelicans trail by 11. Evans kicks to Holiday. We've got 28 seconds left here in the third quarter. He feeds it to Ajinça. Shot from 12. Looks a big height bounce and goes in. Ajinça's got it back down to a single-digit deficit for the Pelicans. Atlanta's gotten the three-point bug tonight. They've taken 15 shots outside the arc. They're 6 of 15. Now here's Schroeder. 7 points in the game. The feed to Millsap. Shot from 16. Can't hit that one. The third quarter comes to a close. Hawks lead by 9. And we're just moments away from the start of the fourth quarter. Stay with us. Let's listen in on what Mike Budenholzer had to say to his team in the huddle.
Just relax. We're in good shape. Keep looking for each other. Keep cutting hard. Everybody look. Let's take care of our defense. More pressure. More activity.
That's Coach Mike Budenholzer running through the gambit of areas where he feels they need to excel.
Yeah, I mean, and most of all, Coach is asking them to be 100% engaged. Give it your all, and then let the chips fall where they may.
The fourth quarter just moments away now as we welcome you back. Holiday and Hield team up in the backcourt. Davis and Asik working together down low. And it's Evans in at the small forward position. That's the Pelicans 5. Here's Millsap. Again, Millsap missing.
And thus far, they've managed to overcome an off game from him offensively.
Evans kicks to Holiday. Asik dishes to Holiday. Paul Millsap with the rebound. Atlanta leading by 9, and they're running. Bazemore for 3. Connects from three-point range. Bazemore's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for Atlanta. The Pelicans shooting only 32% from the field. Plenty of signs of struggle by this offense today. Screen by Asik. Holiday, the pass to Hield. Asik, the screen for Evans. Out of bounds, Atlanta will take possession.
Look, you just don't like turnovers ever, but they happen. Hopefully they'll learn from that mistake.
Hill, he's checked in for Tyreek Evans. Atlanta also making some changes here. Howard's checked in for Mike Muscala, and it's Korver in for Mike Scott. Now here's Schroeder. Millsap a screen on Holiday. Schroeder kicks it to Bazemore. Screen by Howard. Bazemore dishes to Howard. Count it.
Not only does Howard set perfect screens, he cuts quickly after the pick has been set. Just the perfect pick and roll play.
Timeout called here. The Pelicans decide to talk it over. Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Hey guys, I got a chance to find out what Alvin Gentry talked about with his players, and he was emphatic. He said, we are not going to win this game playing this way, fellas. You've got to step it up. You've got to get aggressive, and you've got to battle to get back in this thing. See if that pep talk got him going, guys.
Now here is Holiday, trying to find Davis. He's got it now. 8 feet away, and it falls over the rim and in. When you look around, we see a lot more face-up power forwards than in decades past. That's what teams are looking for, wouldn't you say?
I'd say teams are looking for, Kevin, guys who at the 4 and 5 spot can help a team move the ball from strong side to weak side, be able to read some defenses, make proper passes, and then set screens and be a presence on the roll. That's absolutely at the 4 and 5 spot what teams are trying to find today.
But do you think players now, Brent, are smarter than they were coming in?
Yeah, that's I don't know how to check the report cards, Kevin. No, the players, because of their versatility, and I think growing up not playing back to the basket and being asked to do a lot more things that require guard skills when they come into the game and coaches are asking them to do these things, they're more than capable of doing them.
And he's really having all sorts of problems with his jumper right now.
And this is one of those slumps that you'll just probably want to shoot your way out of.
Man, they came out smoking here from beyond.
Man, I would have loved to have been a fly in the wall while the coach was talking to the team at halftime. They've been unconscious from deep.
Now here's Hield. Davis, the pass to Hield. Davis kicks to Ashik. That's in there. Davis with the assist.
When Ashik gets the rock in the paint, he's a decent threat to score. He looks confident knocking that one down.
Outside Korver. Feeds to Schroeder. There's a screen. The three. That one doesn't drop. And New Orleans will come the other way. Knocked away. Now the Hawks moving it the other way. Bazemore gets the bucket. Bazemore's got 8 here in the quarter.
Well, he is a huge reason why they have this lead.
Hield kicks to Ashik. Well, if you're just tuning in, welcome. We've got about 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. Screen by Ashik. Clock at 6. Davis. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
I mean, it's hard not to notice how many ways Anthony Davis can affect a game. Offense, defense. I mean, it's a very short list of deficiencies in his game. Rim protection, rebounding, mobility, spacing, now adding the three-point shot, a transcendent player.
And he makes the first. And Davis more of a face-up offensive weapon than an old-school back-to-the-basket big man.
Well, this is where the league is going, Kevin, but I still think Anthony Davis is going to be most effective when he gets the ball on the left block, one dribble away, where teams are unable to defend him with a single guy. They bring the double team, and he's quick to the basket. So much more potential to tap into. The first thing you talk about with the Hawks is the versatility and the depth of their front court. Not the biggest inside, but certainly their skill level is a cut above, and they can hurt you in many ways.
Now here's Millsap. Inside, here's Howard, and count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And that's just super strength there by Howard. So good at connecting on these shots despite the contact.
And Brent, you mentioned the depth for the Hawks. They've been a very savvy team filling out that bench with players who can contribute.
Yeah, a blend of young players and old players. They're doing a good job of finding some international talent as well. A nice balance on their roster, and it seems like they know which direction they're going, and for right now, what they're doing.
Now Schroeder, after the missed 3 from Buddy Hield. And Bazemore kicks to Howard. Puts it up from 15, and that one goes long. Pelicans trail by 15. Outside Hill. 1:36 left in the fourth quarter. Pick up by Hill. Here's Davis. Yes, and it's Holiday with the assist that time. Holiday's got his 5th assist in this one. The Hawks leading by 13. And here's Schroeder. Millsap up top. Beyond the arc. It's rebounded by New Orleans. Holiday up top. He's guarded by Schroeder. Outside Holiday. Pass to Hill for the three. Rebounded by Howard.
And with room like that off the pick, you have got to knock that one down.
And the play was executed exactly as you draw it up until the very end. He's kicking himself.
And so only one team answered the bell tonight, guys. Not a monster blowout by any means, but still a double-digit victory for the Hawks.
This was a very efficient offense tonight.
And they found a way to get their shots to go down. A little luck didn't hurt. A lot of their 50-50 shots fell their way. And Dwight Howard, you know, he's lost some explosiveness over the years, but still remains an intimidating presence when he's healthy. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call him a number one option on the offensive end, but still great in the pick and roll, better than most when it comes to posting, and defensively, when he's moving well, a straight beast.
And talking about Howard's defense, he's blocking fewer shots these days, but he remains extremely difficult to score against in the paint.
Yeah, statistically, opponents still struggle to shoot against him. He has the power and instincts to stop most true centers from getting comfortable on the blocks, and his reputation goes a long way toward unnerving opponents.
Yeah, look, the Pelicans are a solid offensive team. That's not where the problems have been. One of the best teams in the league as far as taking care of the basketball.
Outside, Davis. That's good, and so Galloway with the assist.
Sensational pick, which allowed the easy score to take place there. Davis is just too good from that range.
Here's Jack. And so Atlanta takes this one by a big margin. A solid win on the road for them. This building was dead silent by the time, GA, this one wound down.
And that's what you want to do. Take the crowd out of it by crunch time. Don't give them any chance to lift their team up at the finish.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Paul. It looked like the game was getting away from you. So how big is it that you were able to come back?
You know, we got to do a better job of executing down the stretch. You know, as simple as that. We're just glad we got this win. We just can't let these things happen in the future.
I know you're going to keep working on it. Thanks again, Paul. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And that about wraps it up. For Brent Barry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan, along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. So long.
The 2K Sports Postgame Show.
Thank you, Kev Kevington. And now we move on to our Jordan Player of the Game.
Very solid from the floor tonight. Hit on over half of his shot attempts, so he was able to push the action but still be efficient. The team rolled that effort all the way to the bank.
Listen, Ernie, I don't know if the opposing fans got him riled up or what, but he was out for blood tonight. Shaquille O'Neal, man, he had intensity at his all-time high. He looked like a different player than we're used to seeing.
And that's it for tonight, but we've got a whole new NBA season ahead of us. For Shaquille O'Neal, for Kenny the Jet Smith, for Kevin Harlan, wherever he might be, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. We'll see you again very soon.